Let's start with Shebby. Shebby, what's going on with Spurs, man? Are they going to get a manager or not?
Well, I mean, what is really interesting is that nobody wants the job. But you can always go back to Harry Redknapp, maybe, maybe he will be good for Spurs. But honestly, Rosh, it's been absolutely disgraceful.
I think, Shebby, I think Spurs need a global advisor. What say you?
Well, I have experience in that position, so they can always give me a call.
Yeah, but I think, Roshan, going back to your question very quickly about being a lack of a disgrace, the performances have been impressive. They've been very good. When I look at JDT and what they're doing in the groups, in their first match against Nagoya, where they more than held their own, they show that they deserve to be there. And I thought they were unfortunate not to come away with at least a point. I don't think Nagoya deserved to win that one. Nagoya certainly weren't winning over any new fans with their performances. And then how about some special praise for Tampines? And I know there'll be people out there, lots of grumpy people out there saying, they still lost. What are you happy about? It can bring out your inner Roy Keane. They shouldn't be celebrating, right? They lost by 2-0. But when you look at their performance in that game, I think it was very encouraging. Let's remember that this is the first time in about a decade or so that we've had a Singaporean side in the AFC Champions League.
Who was the last one? Who was the last one? I can't recall.
I don't know, man. There's a shoulder a little bit. Got a bit of an itch on my shoulder here. But sure. It's not like we're a nation that's been represented in this elite club competition regularly, consistently, year after year. So for a side like them to sort of come in and the differences in budget that they're sort of up against, the level of foreign players, the level of local players that we have as compared to someone like a Gamba Osaka, for example, I think it was a very, very commendable performance. I wouldn't get carried away. I've seen some people getting carried away a little bit, but the signs are very encouraging in terms of how they played their football, Roshan. They played out from the back, very neat and tidy passing patterns. There was always an option for the player on the ball. Yeah. And the players had this confidence to play out, even under pressure. And there were several occasions where they were put under high pressure by Gamba, and Tampines was still able to play through that press. I thought Kyoga Nakamura and Zerudin Mehmedovic especially doesn't look out of place at all. I mean, same could be said of Nakamura, but these two guys were just pure class for Tampines. So looking forward to seeing more of them, looking forward to seeing more of Tampines. They do need to sharpen up that attacking edge. That's going to be important for them moving forward, because yes, they can play through the first two lines of pressure, they can get it further forward up the pitch, but that attacking, that intensity when you go through the gears in those attacking areas. We saw Gamba with the ability to create good chances, effective opportunities in those attacking areas. Tampines need to learn from these teams, and I think they will. But encouraging, man, Roshan. And I think, from your perspective, watching this, what were your thoughts seeing Tampines Rovers take to the continental stage?
I mean, firstly, it was just so exciting to have a Singaporean team play in the Champions League. I think all week there was a lot of excitement. We spoke to Madhu earlier, and that really got me excited. And just watching them on that stage, and like you say, not sticking to their guns, not embarrassing themselves, willing to play it out from the back. I think there was once you were on commentary and you yourself stopped your point just to comment how they were doing so well to play out of the back. But to your point, it's that attacking part of the game that worries me slightly with Tampines, as compared to JDT, for example, where Bergson up front, he's just a live wire. Shebby, what are your thoughts on Bergson?
Well, I've always liked him. I think he's one of the most dynamic forwards we've seen in the Malaysian league. My only concern, yes, I mean, we should have won 3 or 4-0. Shafiq Rahim missed some chances against Ratchaburi as well. But Bergson, he brings that explosiveness. His touch is great. Yes, he wants to smash them. Yes, he should have done better with the penalty. But I can tell you that, he's always an outlet with or without the ball. His movement, his willingness to make a run, even knowing that, the ball's not going to come. He's been fantastic. My only concern about him is that, somebody's got to tell him, calm down, calm down. Because, such explosive players, sometimes in their mind, the mind is going too fast as well. So for an explosive player, it's up here. How calm are you up here? Your movement, your strength, your touch, everything is on point, except, here, and your heart is beating too fast. So if he can calm down just a little bit, I think he'll be unstoppable.
Shebs, who else has caught your eye from JDT so far?
Well, I must say that the team, I think, Rosh, is very well organized. I mean, you showed, you did Piero at halftime of JDT against Nagoya. And that organization, without the ball, we don't get stretched. We don't, get outnumbered in the midfield, especially. So that team organization, the team discipline, the tactical discipline is much better. We are more compact now. We are more difficult to break down, as you rightly pointed out then, and I think up front, we created so many chances. We just need, like I said, Bergson especially needs to calm down a little bit. He's like a highly strung guitar, So stop snatching at things. You're very good. Stop snatching at things. But like I said, Rosh, the overall team organization, it's for me has been the most pleasing effect, because in our region, we can get players who fall asleep, who lose their concentration, and then gaps begin to appear. But I haven't seen that in the two games with JDT this season in the Champions League. I think we've been up there in as far as tactical discipline is concerned.
Rosh, I have a question for you, Rosh. JDT obviously made a couple of changes after match day 1 to match day 2. They had the depth to make some changes, and then we saw how well they did. For Tampines, I'm a bit worried, because I look at the bench, Tampines has 2 19-year-olds in the team. And then fatigue will play a part, right? Going to the tournament, I'm sure mindset is there because they played so well, and they will take their confidence through. But to have a thinner squad like that, is that going to affect Tampines?
It will have an impact, I think, on intensity levels as the games go on. Especially, with the way that they play, with the lack of, I would say, that quality in the depth of the squad, and that's just what Singaporean sides have to deal with on continental competition because of the rules at place domestically. So that's what you've got to sort of work with. And considering those sorts of constraints, I think what they've done so far on match day 1 has been very good. But I do have a few concerns about the intensity going forward. It's going to be difficult. Yase Hanapi, for example, in the game, in that first game, had to struggle through an injury. He was limping as he was running. But when you looked at that bench, the options were pretty thin. They are missing Taufik Suparno through injury. They've got Shah Shahiran, who's out due to national service. It's a bit of a shame we're not going to get to see those two players with Tampines Rovers, but they got to move on with what they've got. And it is, I got to agree with you, it is going to be an area of concern. Recovery is going to be so important. And I'm intrigued to see how they sort of manage the fitness levels as the competition goes on. If they get a few injuries, they could be in a spot of bother here at Tampines Rovers going forward. I just very quickly actually wanted to touch on a point that was brought up earlier about how Singapore sides haven't been in this competition consistently, but a team like JDT have, Shebs. And I want to throw this to you, Shebby. It's 3 years in the group stage now. Yes, last season they had to withdraw, reasons outside of their control. They have had a sort of a consistent run, so to speak. They've built that squad there. Is the expectation now, Shebs, that JDT should be looking to get out of the groups? It's not enough now to just be putting in good performances. They have to secure the results along the way as well and see if they can progress to the knockout stages.
Very true, Rosh. When you talk about progress, and definitely, the target now will be to come out of the group stages. Unfortunately, the rules have become a little bit more complex now, that the group winner will go to automatically. Second spot, you may have a chance. So apart from that, but you're right. Season on season, you've got to see improvement, and like I said, this season so far in the 2 games, tactical discipline has been much better. But JDT have got the luxury of going out there, getting the best local players, Rosh. Look at Arif Aiman. He is dynamic, And the last time we had a young player that dynamic was Akia Rashid. He's still in the team. Safawi Rashid. So this is very, very important because you need, I mean, you've spoken about Tampines and going forward. We don't have that problem. You know, we've got dynamic local players going forward. Shane Lowry has been brought in simply because, you know, you look at what we have. I mean, Ideal, he has been struggling for a long time with his fitness levels. To last 90 minutes is difficult. Fadli Shah's burnout, you know, last 2 seasons, haven't seen him. Adam Noor Azlin, perhaps not up to the mark. So JDT have the luxury of being able to say, let's go out there. This is what we need for a certain position. Let's go out there and do it. Tampines will have to develop their own. But yes, Rosh, you know, I wish we still, you know, were back to, you know, top 2 automatically qualifying from the Asian Champions League group stages. But unfortunately, you know, just when we think we are getting there, the rule change, you know, has quite perhaps set us back. More pressure now. You know, we try to finish at least second, if you know, because first will be out of our reach. You know, so yes, Roshan, season on season, we want to see progress.